Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. And while at the same time we do call it a civil war, it is more or less becoming an invasion by external forces taking place within the confines of this conflict. Specifically, you have the despotic regime of Eritrea invading what is, for all intents and purposes, a de facto independent region of the former state of Ethiopia, and that is the Tigray region in this area. Furthermore, we continue to see fighting on all fronts. Right now, it is glaringly apparent that the combined forces of the despotic regime of Ethiopia Sep, of the Eritrean army, and those of the warlord Abiy Ahmed are having significant challenges in continuing operations or attempting to continue operations inside of the Tigray region. We know of right now no specific area in the Tigray region, and that's running from the areas in the north of Shire, northwest of Shire, near Shiraro, along the Rama front, along Zalambasa, to the south towards Weldia, Lalibela, Sokoto, in the east around Abala, and Barhale, east of the capital of Tigray, located in the Afar region. Again, Barhale and Abala, located in the Afar region. And what we continue to hear is that any attempts by the forces of the Eritrean military and or the Abiy loyalist forces to advance into Tigray territory is being met with incredibly stiff resistance. The Tigrayan Defense Forces have had the opportunity now for the better part of 2 years to prepare for any form of future invasion by Abiy loyalist forces or the Eritrean military. And we have also seen on the flip side, we have seen the Tigrayan Defense Forces start to make headway inside of some of these areas, especially the northern Amhara region. Now, we have seen the Tigrayan Defense Forces march south, lay siege to Weldia, threaten both Sokoto and Lalibela. But now we're hearing not only did the Tigrayan Defense Forces evict or re-evict the Abiy loyalists and Amhara regional militias from Addi Arkay, seizing control of this area, and then pressed south, further south into the Amhara region. But we've also received reports that Tigrayan Defense Force unconventional warfare units, meaning a non-conventional type of force, has penetrated even deeper into the Amhara region and right now are operating near the town of Zarima. And this is very well southwest of Addi Arkay, very much deep into the Amhara region. And we suspect that smaller Tigray Defense Force units are being used in rear area operations against Abiy loyalist formations, supply hubs, Amhara and force, militia force, supply hubs and supply depots located in the northern Amhara region. And if we look at Zarima compared to the shared border in terms of distance from Addi Arkay to Zarima, again, you're looking at 22 kilometers. So a fairly good clip in terms of how the TDF is operating deep in the rear areas of some of these theaters of operations that we are seeing. But we'll continue to watch what is happening near Addi Arkay. We continue to watch what is happening on really all fronts at this point. We continue to hear about fighting taking place both near Abala and Berhale to the north. It would appear that Eritrean forces supported by Abiy loyalist forces, possibly Afar special forces or regional forces, have made attempts to move into eastern Tigray via some of these areas. But what we're hearing right now is that so far it has been rather unsuccessful for the Eritrean military to move into eastern Tigray from the Afar region. As we had talked about before, the logistical challenges for the Eritrean army to maintain the type of force needed to launch a all-out invasion from the Afar region towards Mekelle in this area would be very, very significant, meaning that the logistical challenges because of lack of roads, lack of infrastructures, because of the great distances that you would have to travel from, say, Berhale or Abala, depending on where you were staging your offensive operations towards Mekelle, again, is great distance kind of from the center of gravity or center of power. Obviously, that is Asmara, and to a lesser extent down here in Assab as well. So the notion that the Eritrean army could put together a cohesive force along the Afar Tigray border that could be continually supplied is something that would be very, very challenging for the Eritrean army. They're probably, if they are going to have success, that success is going to probably come either near Ramah, near Zalambasa, or northwest of Shirara, near Shire, near Shiraro. And at the same time, it's not only the issue logistically right now, but it's also the competency of the fighting forces, and especially if you look at some of the recent engagements that have occurred between the Abiy loyalist forces and the Tigrayan defense forces, especially near Kobo or south of Kobo, near Weldia. The Abiy loyalist forces have not fared well at all. We know that thousands have been taken prisoners over the course of the last few weeks. We know that in most of some of these pitched battles that have taken place, the Abiy loyalist forces, upon initial contact with the Tigrayan defense forces, in most cases have either surrendered or turned around and fled from the battle space. And again, we believe that, again, is in large part because of lack of lower level leadership. The battlefield, both the battlefield commanders, brigade commanders, divisional commanders, regimental commanders, company commanders, battalion commanders, really have proven to be, for the most part, again, as I talked about just before, an incompetent leadership bunch, especially in terms of the Abiy loyalist forces. We know that the Abiy forces have been doing quite a bit of recruiting of late. Some of this recruiting is suspected to be a general conscription, meaning individuals from the Oromia region, from the Amhara region, may not be wanting to join the Abiy-led army at times, and especially when they go into initial contact against the Tigrayan Defense Forces, which a lot of these guys have been fighting for going on 2 years now. Many of these Tigrayan Defense Forces have been blooded in battle and are very well trained and have experienced multiple engagements, and compounding that, really kind of know the region a lot more than the fighters on the part of the Abiy Ahmed regime. So that is culminating in, again, these systematic battlefield defeats that we continue to see running all the way near Addi Arkay to the northwest, and then obviously all the way to the southeast near Waldea. And then if you look at the Eritrean army as well, it does look at, as you have this despot in terms of Isaiah Afwerki that has led that country for many decades now, and you have this universal servitude that the nation is required to serve in the Eritrean military. And you have to wonder, what does the motivation look like of the Eritrean army? I mean, you would think that, yes, some of the Eritrean army units are fairly well trained, are fairly well motivated. But given the size of the force and given the amount of individuals that are serving in the Eritrean army, probably simply do not want to be there. They're probably looking just to finish their time. They don't really know how long they will have to serve, and they probably have no desire to re-enter the Tigray region and perish, as many of them did in the post late 2020 campaign, in which we eventually saw the Eritrean army get evicted from the northern Tigray region. The Eritrean army did try to enter the Tenbian region back in 2021. And that proved to be very, very difficult for them, and it ended up in the status quo. Now, many of these same forces are trying to conduct operations along these same invasion routes. Again, Zalabasa, Rama, and Shiaro. But this time they're finding that they're facing a Tigrayan Defense Forces that right now is fully mobilized, have prepared a lot of these areas for defensive operations, and it's very, very difficult for them to progress. And that's what we're kind of seeing right now. We're just not seeing a lot of movement right now from either side in terms of both the Eritrean army or the Abiy loyalist forces. In fact, right now, in terms outside of Western Tigray, the Tigrayan Defense Forces hold more territory than either the Eritrean army or the Abiy loyalist forces in terms of where they have currently progressed near Waldea, and then obviously operations near Addi Arkay as they can continue, while not conventional operations in the sense that we've seen in the south near Kobo. Nonetheless, they have become very much a thorn in the Abiy loyalist army in the northern Amhara region. Compounding that, we are also seeing what we can only describe as what you could define as maybe desperation on the part of the Abiy loyalist forces. We continue to see drone strikes directed towards cities in the Tigray region. Within the last 24 hours, there have been additional drone strikes on Mekelle against various targets inside of Mekelle. One very specific strike hit very close to a hotel in Mekelle. We don't know if it was a valid military target or not, but that is kind of the operations right now that the Abiy loyalist government is really able to conduct at this point, and that's these drone strikes. Outside of the drone strikes and the direct tactical air attacks using Su-27s or what have you, there has not been a lot of progress. And when there's not a lot of progress, we have seen the Abiy loyalist forces start to resort to direct airstrikes on the capital of the Tigray region, Mekelle, and we'll probably see more of those as the war continues. But that's where we're at right now. Obviously, we are continuing to watch things very, very closely, and as things change, we will definitely report those changes. We will report on any military operational activity that we're able to any form of information that we are able to obtain, which is very, very difficult. And if you have any information and you are a viewer please email the channel, and we'll look at it, and we may have a discussion, and we may talk about it. So again, that's it for today. As always, thanks for joining us, and have a good day.